Hi, everyone. I'm Debbie Storrs, and I'm honored to serve as Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor here at UNCG. Wanted to give you a warm welcome back to the fall semester and let you know how pleased I am to learn about the Humanities Networking Consortium. You know, when I was a mid-career faculty member, I was privileged to serve as a Humanities Fellow in collaboration with a colleague from the Department of English. And together, we developed a year-long series of humanities-based programming where we engage with a cohort of about 25 to 30 faculty from across the university on a theme we selected, which was the power of play. And as humanities fellows, we had a lot of fun. We hosted and organized public lectures of well-known scholars in the area of gaming and play. We led some creativity workshops, facilitated some interdisciplinary research groups, and we developed some first-year courses on the theme of play and creativity. I know the value of the humanities, so I look forward to working with you to help the public at large understand the relevance of your disciplines and your scholarship. You know, as a former dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, I've tried really hard to engage in a number of initiatives to help the public, including our prospective students and their parents, our legislators, and our community members at large, understand how important the humanities are and the liberal arts in general are to our students. More so than ever, we need the learning outcomes that your disciplines develop in students. You know what they are, the range of them from, honing our critical thinking skills, communication, teamwork, diversity, and inclusion, to name just a few. And I think the other story we need to tell the public is that these are the skills that employers seek, and that a degree in the humanities does lead to good careers and jobs. So I've been impressed to learn about the range of humanities scholarship here at UNCG, including the community and publicly engaged humanities scholarship that you do. Again, a warm welcome, and I look forward to learning more about you and your work.
Good afternoon. I'm Terri Shelton, Vice Chancellor for Research and Engagement, and I'm so excited to welcome all the HNACers and a special welcome to new faculty and students who might be joining either UNCG or HNAC for the first time. And a happy 5th anniversary to HNAC. It's hard to believe, but HNAC was launched in September 2016. Already a thriving group at UNCG, we all knew that we could do more to support the advancement of scholarship and students by being more intentional in our work and leveraging the strengths of not only the humanities, but the collaboration with other disciplines and departments like dance, peace and conflict studies, anthropology, African American and African diaspora studies, and women, gender, and sexuality studies, among many others. And we knew we absolutely needed to do a better job of raising the visibility of the incredible scholarship and contribution of the humanities on campus and in the larger community. And so HNAC was born. Of course, if you are hearing this, I am preaching to the choir about the importance of the humanities and of HNAC, but I do want to reinforce that importance. If you look at our strategic plan, that is focused on student transformation, knowledge transformation, and regional transformation, it is clear that HNAC is fundamental to our operationalizing those commitments. The benefits for students through exposure to and majoring in the humanities is well documented. Through its career initiatives like the Liberal Arts Advantage, HNAC communicates with students and families about how a humanities education promotes creative thinking, fosters career readiness and public leadership, and develops informed and critical citizens. And perhaps more importantly, it enables those students to advocate for that advantage that they will bring to new jobs, to graduate school, and to their communities. We already know that you are also creating new knowledge. In addition to the contributions directly to the humanities, we know you help catalyze valuable innovations in society, government, business, culture, and entertainment, as well as science and technology. In a great article in Inside Higher Education in May 2020, Kirsten Oster argues that in times of crisis, when we face complex challenges like global pandemics, we need a collaborative response that transcends disciplinary boundaries and offers novel approaches to vexing problems. She provides a wonderful example of how a humanistic perspective and interdisciplinary collaboration could contribute to what she calls translational humanities in developing our response to the pandemic. We know that data without context is meaningless, and just because we can do something, should we? This is the power of the humanities, not to halt progress, but to inform the genuine progress that comes only from thoughtful reflection on human values and meaning. HNAC offers that place for that kind of networking and support for humanities faculty, for others, fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, as well as individual projects. And of course, through your promotion of public engagement, connecting humanities faculty and others to community and institutions outside the university, HNAC supports our commitment to regional transformation, whether through the Humanities Action Lab or the conversations last April on raising Black children during the Black Lives Matter movement, or the many examples of transformational faculty and student scholarship. HNAC is absolutely one of the ways we operationalize our commitment as a public research university. So while I wish we could all be in person and have some of that great HNAC kickoff cake, I'm so excited about what you all will accomplish this year and the innovations that have taken place to make this kickoff meaningful. A few quick reminders from the Office of Research and Engagement that the deadline for our Community Engaged Pathways and Partnership Grants, which we call P2, is October 15th, and the deadline for our Internal Faculty Research Awards is October 17th. Just check our website for more information. Also wanted to remind you that UNCG is a member of the National Center for Faculty Development and Diversity. And that membership provides a host of resources for faculty, as well as postdocs and graduate students, including many supports that are part of our institutional membership at no additional cost. Thank you to Elizabeth Perrell for her leadership as director, and to Asa Eager as associate director and program coordinator, and to all the faculty and students who are giving so generously of their time serving on the steering committee, for your tireless work and preparation for this great event and your support of HNAC. And finally, a special thank you for all you are doing to keep our teaching, mentoring, and scholarship going during these challenging times. All the best for what I know will be a spectacular year.
Hi, my name is Heather Adams, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of English. My area of specialization in English is rhetoric, and my research really focuses in on feminist rhetorics, feminist historiography, and health rhetorics, especially around issues of reproduction. I'm so grateful to have been awarded an HNAC grant, and I wanted to tell you just a little bit about what that allowed me to do. In early summer 2020, I enrolled in a Wiki EDU class. That's a Wikipedia course. The course is titled Women in Red, Wiki Scholars. Now, I heard about this class and was interested in it because there are some people in my field, especially in feminist rhetorics, who really bring Wikipedia writing into their writing classrooms. This affords students an opportunity to think about how information is shared in public contexts, about information literacy, and it really allows them to feel empowered to create some of this information that circulates so broadly and in public ways, which is really exciting. I was not sure if I wanted to do that in my own class, so I thought a good first step would be to take a Wikipedia class to learn how to become a Wikipedian, learn how to become a Wikipedia editor. So the Women in Red Wiki Scholars class has two main goals. One is to address the disparity of content on Wikipedia. There's far more, for example, biographical information about men than about women. The other disparity is to address who is doing the editing of Wikipedia. There are far more men who are editors than women. So that was a focus of the course, and there was a lot of support along the way, and I had a great time creating some content and putting some information up online and seeing, creating a new article and making revisions on other articles. It was a lot of fun. In the process, I gained a lot of information about how much people come to rely on Wikipedia. Even health professionals rely on Wikipedia more than you might imagine. So it really is a source, a public source with great impact in society right now. So I'm still not ready to bring Wikipedia into my classroom, but what I decided to do as a result of taking this course is really focus on thinking about my role as an advocate who wants to do public writing and who can channel some of that energy and channel some of my experience and comfort as a writer into writing for Wikipedia. So I'm currently working on an article that's tentatively titled "Why Feminist Rhetoricians Should Be Wikipedians, Making the Case and Explaining the Challenges." So I just want to thank HNAC for the opportunity to support, to get some support for that course that I took. I would recommend it to others. If you're interested, let me know. And to have some support as I move from not only doing that work of public writing, but encouraging other people to do it as well. Thanks, HNAC.
My name is Alyssa Gabay, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Religious Studies, and I specialize in Islamic studies. And I was very thankful to receive an HNAC mini grant this year to assist me in a book project that I'm working on. This book project is a critical edition and a translation of a work by the 14th century Indian poet Amir Khosrow. And just to give you a bit of a sense of who Amir Khosrow was, I don't think I'm exaggerating too much by saying that he's comparable to an Indian Shakespeare. He produced a great number of works of poetry, including romances and histories that had a huge impact on Indian culture. And even today, people in India quote couplets and quatrains by him and visit his tomb in Delhi. So the work that I'm translating is known in Persian as the Dibache Divan-e Qurat al-Kamal, which is the preface to the New Moon of Perfection. And this work, among his works, is particularly important because it's a kind of manifesto of Amir Khosrow's beliefs, especially about things like the importance of poetry and eloquent speech. It's also an autobiography detailing his extremely colorful life, serving at the courts of numerous sultans. And in it, he also deals with many matters pertaining to Islam that are quite relevant to today. So having a reliable critical edition and translation of this work in English would be a great boon to people who are interested in medieval Islamic history and thought, Indian history, and classical Persian literature. It's really also a way to step into a mindset that may feel in some ways completely different and foreign, but also very immediate and personal, which is how Amir Khosrow's works tend to feel. His writing has a very immediate and personal sense to it that transcends time. In any case, one of the first steps that I needed to take in working on this project was to compare various manuscripts and previous editions of it to come up with a reliable critical edition. And this is very difficult and time-consuming work, and it really benefited from a second opinion. So I was able to hire somebody to kind of work with me, to offer a second opinion, and to work with me on this critical edition by using my HNAC mini grant. And this has allowed me to move on to working on the translation, which is going very well. So I am very grateful again to HNAC for its attention to and support of the humanities. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Antaniya, and I am an Associate Professor of Spanish Literature in the Department of Languages, Literatures, and Cultures. Part of my research focuses on the Black Spanish Atlantic during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. I thank the Humanities Network and Consortium for their support of $150 mini grant in the summer of 2020. These funds helped me defray the costs associated with the editing of my essay, Race and Reform in Late Colonial Santo Domingo. This essay has a dual focus. The first is the rhetoric associated with the construction of racial stereotypes in the official documentation of the time. I pay particular attention to the connections that the elites traced between the economic downfall of Santo Domingo and racial difference. Then I turned to the book titled Idea of the Value of the Island of Hispaniola, written by the mixed-race author Antonio Sánchez Valverde. I pay attention to the distinction this author drew between two kinds of island inhabitants, the criollo and the natural. By placing in dialogue Valverde's book with colonial elites' ideas of race, I do not claim that the author fully contested dominant views of racial difference. His privileged education and career as a lawyer and a priest tied him to colonial elites, a position that distanced him from the poor, mixed-race, and Black islanders. However, his African ancestry and the record of legal appeals and arrests for unruly behaviors suggest he held a position that the colonial hierarchy felt was in need of discipline. This opens up his writing to interpretation in terms of mixed-race alterity, a position that helps us understand why he both echoed and challenged prevailing ideas of race. This essay has been accepted for publication in the peer-reviewed, edited volume Asymmetric Natures, to be published by Iberoamericana Verwoerd at the end of this year, 2020. As a non-native of the English language, it is of crucial importance to me to have my work edited. Again, my gratitude goes to the Humanities Network and Consortium for their support with a mini grant in the summer of 2020 that I applied to this end. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erin Laramore. I'm an associate professor and university archivist in the university libraries here at UNC Greensboro. I was happy to receive funding from HNAC this past year, to support transcription of some oral history interviews that we did as part of our Well-Crafted NC project. For those who aren't familiar with Well-Crafted NC, it's a project based out of the university libraries. There are 3 of us who work on it. And it's focused on documenting the history of beer and brewing in North Carolina. And it's a project that kind of spans from the 1700s through today. And we are doing a number of oral history interviews with current brewers and brewery owners the funding that we received really helps make those oral history interviews more accessible online. But ultimately, the project as a whole, Well-Crafted NC as a whole, is a really important project. In North Carolina, we produce more beer than any other state in the South. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in North Carolina today. But when you look at the long history of beer and brewing in North Carolina or anywhere in the United States, beer history really ties into American history as a whole. We have stories in Well-Crafted in our research that we found that tie into issues of race, issues of gender, labor, religion, politics. Everything can be found through a lens and through studying through a lens of beer history here in the state of North Carolina. Beer history is American history. And by making sure that these resources are documented, by doing this historical research, but also recording the stories and making accessible the stories of the folks who are active in the industry today, we can make sure that in 5, 10, 15, 50, 100 years, people are able to kind of look at the industry today, look at it in that historical context, look at it in the context of today, and study it in the same way that we can study the 1800s and how the industry operated then. So again, thank you to HNAC for the funding to help us with these interviews. Wellcraftednc.com is the website if anyone wants to look at what we've been doing and see some of the ways that we've been recording and documenting these stories. I'm really thankful for this funding, and I'm really thankful for HNAC for supporting humanities on our campus and in our community. It's a very important thing.
Hello, I'm Ann Parsons. I'm a historian and parent. I used my HNAC money to apply for a Whiting Seed Grant. That grant will, if I receive it, give me money to do a community engaged project about the Holocaust that my family has ties to. The project will not only make a scholarly contribution, but I hope that it will also help tell this buried story to future generations like this one right here. Thank you so much for the money. It was wonderful, and it helped me make it to the finalist round of this grant.